What's up guys, War History Geek here, and welcome back to another acquisitions video. Today I just got back from our family vacation down south of us. We live in Ohio, so we decided to take a trip down to the South Carolina, Georgia area. I visited some pretty cool places. I'm going to actually hopefully have some videos coming out talking about kind of what I saw there. And yeah, I made some pretty good finds. I stopped by one antique store, a couple of cool military museums, and picked up some neat stuff. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to start small and work my way up. So here we have a 75 millimeter blank shell. And I mean, it's just an empty shell, an empty artillery shell. I don't have any artillery shells this size. But it was actually at Patriots Point, South Carolina, so I picked that up as a souvenir. Actually, my family got it for me as the souvenir, because usually the way we do it in our family is our parents will buy us one souvenir of our choice, and then anything else we want, we cover on our own. So this was my choice. I thought it was a neat little thing to, not necessarily interesting, but it's a nice display piece, and it's a nice way to remember my trip to that awesome military museum. So yeah, that's for starters there. That was a nice find. Then we actually stopped by an antique store, and I found a lot of neat stuff there. So starting out with this was an excellent find. This is an original World War II German Luftwaffe shoulder board. So as you can see here, it's actually very worn. I'll zoom in there for you. And then if you look at the bottom, it's blue. So it definitely saw a lot of wear, sunlight. But overall, it's in excellent condition besides that. No moth damage or anything. They had 4 police ones and then 1 Luftwaffe officer shoulder board. But I decided to choose this one because the police ones are a dime a dozen. And the officer one did have moth damage. So this was the best one there. I believe I paid $25 for this, which is towards the bottom of retail. They go upwards of 30 to 40 to the right buyer, so figured I'd pick one of those up for my collection. Then they also had a very good selection of antique postcards, photographs, and currency, because one of my side collections actually is coins and currency. So starting out with some of the postcards and photographs here. I have a nice stack here. I'm just going to kind of go through them quickly. This was a U.S. postcard, First Pacific Coast torpedoed ship, so that's neat there. These are a lot of French and German ones from the either World War I or World War II area. I have to do some more research. As you can see here, Feldpostkarte. So cool stuff there. Just kind of flipping through here. This is a World War I memorial on a postcard, so I thought that one was neat. Again, just kind of flipping through here quickly, giving you guys a look. I don't need to necessarily spend a ton of time on these. Nothing's written on the back of any of them. Yeah, so this one's a neat one too. I believe this one is a French one, as with this one and this one. So you can see some destruction of war there. And these were all 50 cents a piece, so I figured for 50 cents you can't go wrong. So that's why I picked up this. This is a German road map to some kind of a restaurant, you know, like an advertisement for that restaurant telling you that's where that is. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if it's World War II or Cold War era or what, so I figured I'd pick that up and try and do some more research. I can't really find anything, but if you guys know, feel free to let me know down in the comments. And then these two are interesting. The name escapes me, but in the 1800s, early 1900s, you could buy these and put them in that viewing machine. It's almost like a Viewmaster, but you would look through it and it would take these two and turn it into a 3D image, like early 3D imagery in movies and stuff like that. So that's a cool one. This is the Baltimore. This was a battleship in the late 1800s for the U.S. Navy, so I thought that one was cool. It does have a lot of damage over here, but for, again, 50 cents, you can't go wrong. And then this one is of the United States Capitol. I don't know exactly when this is. Actually, I don't even think I read the back. Let's see here. Yeah, just, ooh, there we, no. Just, like, quickly flipping through the back, I didn't see it. If you guys want to read that whole thing, feel free to pause it. But yeah, so that was the United States Capitol a very long time ago. So that is all of the postcards and photographs that I bought there. Moving those off to the side. Now we are working towards the currency, and there's actually some really neat stuff. Here we have a lot of smaller bills, and these are interesting. These are actually, I forget what they were called, like Notgeld, I believe. This was emergency money produced by the different states in Austria. And the same thing was done in Germany at the time. This was during the Great Depression, the early 1920s, where the individual states within the countries of Austria and Germany started creating their own local currency because of the failing currency due to the Depression. So these are all, in some cases, very crude local banknotes that were only usable within those cities or regions. So I just thought that these were super cool, and I couldn't pass up on them. They were $1 a piece. So, I mean, I've never seen any of them in person, but I figured, like, they're just excellent examples, perfect condition, so I would pick them up. This is a banknote from Yugoslavia during World War II, so can't go wrong there, World War II banknote. This is a World War II Japanese banknote. I already have a couple of different ones, but I don't have one of these, so very cool there. And I just pick up the odd stuff now, really, because I have so much of the normal stuff. I like to pick up odd shapes, designs, so forth. So here is a foreign exchange certificate from China. I have some notes from Pakistan. I don't have a lot of Middle Eastern currency, so I figured I'd pick these up. Here's actually what I thought was a banknote, but is actually a ticket to see some kind of like cultural display in Italy. For a short time, they used the cultural board, I forget whatever it was called, in Italy, used what looked like banknotes as tickets. So this is a ticket to like the Statue of David or something like that. So I'm going to still keep it in the collection. It's not necessarily coins and currency, but it's something interesting I can keep in there. This is actually a very modern note from France. I believe it's from the 90s. But I just love the design, very colorful, especially with this like almost cartoon-looking character here. So figured I'd pick that up as well. Here we have a very old banknote from the Netherlands, World War II, as you can see, dated 1938. And then these are all German from here, I believe. I didn't really take a close enough look at them yet since I just got home. But here you can see 1917, Berlin. So this is a very old German banknote, World War I. Here you can see another German banknote, 1918, so World War I era as well. And for newer collectors out there, collecting old currency, it goes very well with collecting military. It makes excellent display pieces, and if you're a reenactor, having period-correct currency just moves your impression up to a whole nother level of accuracy and builds character, and it's called pocket litter almost. So in some cases, I wouldn't recommend using original currency. That's really up to you for reenacting. But for display, original currency is absolutely great looking. So for instance, I can put World War II German currency with some World War II German flags or helmets, knives, whatever, and it just adds a little bit of color and more interesting things to look at with that display. But anyway, here we have 1915, I believe, German currency. So very cool there. This is 1922, so this is a very cool banknote. In fact, these are the types of banknotes Hitler probably would have been using during that time period. In fact, it was the exact type of banknote he was using, so very cool there. And then these two I picked up because these are the inflationary currency from Germany then, which are just like the ridiculous amounts. This is 1 million marks, and I didn't have any of these in my collection. They had several of them there. I should have bought all of them, but I decided to just get the one. This is 1 million marks. Just absolutely excellent. When you see those photographs of the bricks of currency stacked in pyramids in the streets, them using it as kindling, this is what they were using, these large 1 million mark banknotes and even higher values. And then here is a 10,000 mark note. So again, very cool there. And as you can see, it's very big. Here's my hand. It's bigger than the size of my hand in length. So yeah, just some excellent banknotes there that I was very happy to add to the collection. Let's see here. Moving on to the next thing. I found a very interesting collection of early Vietnam manuals and other just paperwork for military. They were only like $2 a piece, so I figured I'd pick them up. But I can't find anything really to most of these online. For some of the weapon-related ones, I can find them. But for instance, like field and depot maintenance repair parts and special tools list, I can't find any reference to this online. In fact, the most interesting one is in the back. But here we go. If you guys are really interested, I can do a whole full-fledged video on these manuals. But for all time-intensive purposes, I'm just going to do a quick overlook at the cover. So these are from the, I just heard a firework there. It is 4th of July today as I'm filming this, so happy 4th. These are from the early 60s. Here we have another one for the M14. The M73 machine gun. This one I've actually seen many things about. This is a booklet on target practice. So very neat stuff in there. Organizational field maintenance for the kitchen fly. So kind of boring, to be honest with you. These are manuals pertaining to tents and crew flies and stuff. So that's that for you. Another tent. Let's see here. This is technical manuals, technical bulletins, supply manuals. So honestly, kind of boring stuff in those. But again, they were super cheap, and I find any kind of military history interesting, so I would pick it up. Ammunition for training. So this shows you the what amounts of ammunition and what kinds would go to the different branches of the armed forces. And that's actually what this one is about. This one, I am very interested to figure out more history on this. This is the ammunition, rockets, and missiles for training. And it actually has the distribution of weapons and ammunition going to, I mean, you see airborne, army security, counterintelligence, special forces, air defense. So we're talking about stuff that was most definitely classified at the time that this manual came out. Highly classified stuff, because if this fell into the wrong hands, this could be a, not necessarily the worst thing in the world, because it is just a training amounts, but I'm sure this would be useful to foreign governments at the time. So yes, very interesting to read into this, especially to the more classified things like special training, special forces, and defense missiles and stuff like that. So by far the most interesting thing there. So yeah, moving on to the next item. Now this is by far the coolest item I found. And this really is the cherry on the cake. So, you know, all that I just showed was definitely interesting. It's going to make a great collection, or add great items to my collection. But this is absolutely incredible. I was visiting the Webb Military Museum in Savannah, Georgia, and he has a store there where he sells surplus from the museum, you know, stuff that he has dozens of, or just doesn't have a place for in the museum or his personal collection, which is the museum mostly. But I picked up this original German helmet. So this is an all-original World War II German M40 Stahlhelm. This is in what's called the slate gray color, as it's a late war produced M40. So I'm very happy to add this to my collection. This is actually my first official like textbook example of an original combat helmet. I do have my original Fallschirmjäger helmet, which is in relic condition, but this is my first official standard issue helmet, and then also one in this condition. So just doing a pan around the front here, as you can see, the paint does have a lot of scratches to it, but overall it's in very good condition. And down in the crevices here, you can't really see it on video, but it still does have some of the texture left to it, while the texture was rubbed off the rest of the helmet, mostly. On the inside, which we'll see in a bit, you'll see that the split pins haven't been tampered with at all, so it is the original liner. Now, flipping to the inside here, we have the original liner. As you can see, it's pretty crusty, as I would say, but it's in excellent condition. Considering it's 75 years old-ish, and it's still there. So, unfortunately, it is missing the chin strap, and as I said, the leather isn't in the greatest condition, but it's an excellent textbook example of a late-war German helmet. So I am absolutely I'm beyond words. I'm very happy to add this to my collection. It's going to make a great display piece, and I will be making an individual video on this helmet. I will not be, showing every little detail in this video. Just wanted to show off what I bought on this trip. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button, and when you're in that area, hit the subscription button and notification bell. I have plenty of other videos coming in the near future just like this. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!